All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Can someone please let me know if you can see my screen and if you can hear me loud and clear? I'd appreciate it. And we'll get started. We'll just wait to make sure you guys can hear me and see the screen. I can see that I'm streaming the screen. Streaming the screen. No, streaming the screen. Johan, good. What's up, Johan? Good morning. Good morning. Guten Morgen. In Swedish, we say god morgon, but I know that's not how you guys pronounce it. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. We have got a lot to talk about today. We've got, well, we'll wait for the people to file in a little bit, Johan, because I don't want to have to repeat myself. At least you're on time, Johan. So am I. Let's see here. Almost. Okay, good. So, thank you for the like. Appreciate that. Ralph is here. Nice. Well, we got Johan and we got Ralph. That's all I need to get started. Morning. So I think the link, Ralph, did you click on the link from the Discord? Is that working? Cam's here. Nice. Okay, so there must be something wrong with my analytics here because it says like just 2 people are here or whatever, but it doesn't really matter. People will come. What's up, Cam? Good morning, dude. Moin, if you say closer to the German border. Okay. We're talking about how to say good morning in Danish. Good morning, Christian. Miyagi. Guys, so I forgot I ran out of coffee yesterday, and so I have no coffee, so I'm going to do my best without coffee, but I do have 2 bags of black tea in here, so hopefully that'll do the trick. I can't believe I forgot to buy coffee. All right. So we're going to get started. Before we get started, guys, the bad news is the Lakers lost. That sucked. The good news is I got to watch it with my buddy. Probably won't watch a Lakers game again for a while, so that was kind of fun. We weren't out too late, maybe I think 11:30 or something, not too bad. The good news is that I just received a message from my developer, and he thinks that Sierra is ready. So today, when we finish streaming, I will spend the rest of the day trying to figure out how to get Sierra set up with his setup, which is with the server, the DLL, all that. So we're going to test all that. He says it works. I'm hoping I'm able to replicate that. And then I would do some setup videos on Sierra and get it all into the members area as quickly as possible. So you can download the DLL for Sierra. You'll have the videos on how to set up your Sierra charts. And those that want to start, using the volume-based intraday charts can get going. So that's fantastic news. I'm excited about Sierra, guys. Nice and calm place to hang out. Yeah, exactly. No, I know you don't use my playbook. You wanted to go short all day yesterday, Johan. Yeah, but you cut at the right time. That was a good place to cut. I was also wanting to go short as well in the early part of the day. That was a pretty wicked reversal. Verve, what's up? Have a great stream. Heading out to pick up the daughter. Nice. Cheers. I like that you're here, Johan. I love having Danish people in my live stream. I appreciate it. Makes me feel at home with all my time spent in Scandinavia. All right, guys, look, let's get started. We got 9 minutes to the open. Before we get started, I want to point something out. So gold is exiting congestion to the downside on the daily chart here. We're firing through the congestion support level. Right now, we're kind of hanging out at all this support on the weekly. But I don't know if you guys noticed, look at this nice flash here on the monthly. We tagged the extension, congestion, not congestion, core DMLs beautifully. Lots and lots of resistance here. So I would suspect that the monthly is going to at least try and get back down in the middle of the envelope here. If not, try for a little more. So we'll have to see about that. But right now, I'm going to go into shorting rallies mode on gold. So hopefully we'll get some good opportunities to short gold here. At least we've got some clarity here with this monthly flash. It looks very clear as compared to the other markets which I went over in yesterday's end of day analysis video. All those other markets, the indices, silver, I mean, bonds, the monthly bar is a mess, right? So at least we've got some clarity here on gold, which is awesome. Yeah, no, that's good. You had a good short, Jan. That was fantastic. Um, Good job making your 4K, bro. All right, guys. So yeah, gold is clear, which is nice. And then Nasdaq for today, what I'm seeing. Well, first let's, Johan, what are you seeing, man? What? Tell me, everybody, what are you guys seeing for Nasdaq today? And then I'll tell you what I'm seeing. I'm curious what you guys think is going on. All right. Well, I'll get into what I see because we don't have that much time, but I'm curious to see what you guys think. So basically, what I think here in the Nasdaq is that we gapped open, right? Now we're pushing higher, and we're running right into this weekly core DML. So we've got some resistance right there. And on the monthly, we do have the extension DML. We've got the congestion DML, which technically right now is more of a trend DML stacked here. We got the VolPro reaction high, and we got the middle of the envelope, which is below us, but still. So we've got a lot of resistance right here on the monthly and the weekly. Now, that doesn't mean we're not going to try to get through it. We might. And if we do, you know, then we'll see a little bit of follow through because that's a pretty good resistance level. But for today, you know, where we're going to open here in about 7 minutes into 20,000, you know, I think there's going to be some resistance here. You can see the gap over here on the 10,000 volume chart. Feels to me like this is not going to be a gap and go run away. I think in this market environment, we're probably going to want to fill that gap, and we're running into a lot of resistance. So I'll start the day looking for shorts. And if 20,000 keeps holding, then I'll just look to short. You know, basically today, I think the market is going to be range bound. And my bias heading in, because we already had the big gap up, now for New York, my bias is if 20,000, this whole level here is holding, then I'll look to short. Of course, if we start ripping up and through it, I'll have to change my bias. So let's see what happens with that. Let's see. After 10 p.m., waiting for the news at 10. Okay, yeah, let's see. What's at 10, Yon? I gotta check. I usually check when we get started. Let's go ahead and check our economic calendar. So with the calendar today, trading economics, 10 o'clock. Yeah, we got ISM. That's big. Thank you, Johan. So we've got ISM at 10. We've got S&P Global Manufacturing at 9:45. S&P PMI at 9:30. Yeah. So I'll be looking at short, but we'll see what happens. See if we can get a little signal at the open. And guys, check your latency. It's probably two or 3 seconds. The clock is up here. We got about 4 minutes until the market opens. All right. So on the 50,000 here, 50,000 contracts trending up strongly, definitely. Still no real signs of rolling over yet. So we've got to be careful shorting against this powerful trend run to the upside. But we do have all that monthly and weekly resistance right here. So I want to see how, if the 10,000 tries to punch up there and then fails, I would be looking to short for a move back down. So let's just take it one bar at a time on the 10,000. You guys can ask questions if you have any questions. I'm really excited to get Sierra charts going after the stream. So that's going to be great. My developer is neighbors to you, Jan. He's in Sweden. So I got to get to him before he goes to dinner and checks out for the evening. All right, we've got 3 minutes here. See if we can't get a good trade or two. I got the Tradeifys going. See what happens. And Ralph and Cam, you guys, if you have any questions, just feel free. Right now, we're just kind of waiting. So anybody has any questions, fire them in there about your own analysis, your own trading plan. We're going to do our webinar on Sunday at 1 p.m. That's when everybody can make it. So, we'll talk about your guys' trading plan. I'm working on the videos right now, going over specific setups for everybody. So those who want to trade only trends or only congestion or whatever they want to trade, it'll be a very locked in, a more mechanical approach. Not that people won't want to add their own touches to it, but it's at least a guideline for a more mechanical approach, because I do think a lot of people need that in the beginning. And a lot of people have been asking for that. So it's not the way I trade, but I'm happy to, try and provide a mechanical approach on the different types of trading. Little pop then short, Ralph. Okay, cool. Is that because of the resistance you saw up there, Ralph, on the weekly and the monthly? Yeah, I definitely could, Johan, for sure. We gotta see what that data looks like. I mean, yeah, I'm feeling like the short, but if we rip straight up and through 20,000 on good data, then we could push higher. So I'm open to whatever happens. I mean, the gap is not huge. 19, let's just call it 19.8. A couple hundred, 250 points here. It's not like, it's not like a 400 point gap or anything. I think it's going to be choppy. It's tough on these gap days like this. But I'll just look for good setups on the 50K and the 10K. Yeah, I mean, I typically don't hold through news unless I've got, some sort of a combine or an XFA or something that I really am gambling with, which I mean, I'll be very aggressive with some of them sometimes, especially lately, because I'm working on being more aggressive. So, yeah, I don't trade news. Not that people can't. Some people are good trading news. All right, so I'm just gonna try and hopefully we can get a couple of good trades early, make some money, and be done, so I can get on to developing Sierra charts today. That's my goal, but I'm not gonna force the issue. I'm really excited, guys, because once Sierra is ready, that's when I'm gonna get back to working on my automated stuff. All right, we're open. See what we got cooking. We've got 27,000 contracts here on the 50,000, so still a ways to go before this closes. I mean, I would guess off of that resistance up there, this wants to try to go for congestion entrance down. Let's see. How'd you guys trade yesterday? Cam, how'd you trade? I broke even yesterday. Well, it's not entirely true. I made $15 across each of my Tradeifys, so technically I made like 50 bucks, which is awesome. All right, there's our first close. Lost 800. Was that a XFA, Cam, or eval? Combine, all good. Okay, cool. Look, it's better to lose 800 on a combine than an XFA. Ralph, are you short? Looks like we're going for the gap fill already, maybe. Nice. Good job, Ralph. I typically don't trade like the first 5 or 10 minutes. I kind of wait, see what the market does. Sometimes if I see something really good that I like, I'll take it. But I like to just let it settle and see what's going on. Yeah, so I think gold is going to be some good opportunities in the coming days with some shorts out of that monthly flash, which will be sweet. So I'm excited about that. And I'm looking to put on a lot more overnight swing type trades just because it's nice to have that balance when, Nasdaq, I think the last month or so has been just, there've been days of clarity, but overall, I'm still waiting to figure out what this thing wants to do. And, I like to trade from the higher time period. So for me, if the daily and the weekly are not clear, I don't usually execute on that market. So it's nice to have the swing trades where other markets are clear so that if NASDAQ is not super clear, no big deal. But there's a lot of people that scalp the NASDAQ every day and they don't really care what the higher time periods are doing. And that's great too. All right, so we're sucking up here. They say FAFO is fun. What's FAFO, you on? FAFO. So we're gonna get a close here. We got a little pocket here, but yeah, I'm not feeling. Could push up out of this pocket right here, but I'm kind of more in favor of the short up here. I'd like to see a run at these highs and have it fail and get short up there. Nice, Ralph. So where'd you short from? About in here somewhere? 80 down to 40 or something, 40 points. Oh, ES. Okay, nice. So what'd you get? Like, what is that? 10 handles on the ES? Nice. Good job. That's a good start to the day. F around and find out. I like that, Johan. That's good. FAFO. Now we got a new term. I like it. Hope you can see my screen. Oh, and if you can hear me. The YouTube link. Good. That's working. All right. So we're going to have some, what is that? The S&P PMI in 10 minutes. S&P Global Manufacturing PMI. Yeah. And then after that, we got ISM. It's nice. We got a small, cozy group here today, so I don't need to talk a lot. Whenever there's more people, I feel like I should keep talking. Sometimes there's just nothing to say. So if you guys got questions, Cam, anybody, Christian, just fire them in there. I don't know if Tim, if you're here, Tim M, I think is your YouTube name. You asked about Sierra. It should be ready. So I'm going to check that after the stream. It's a good expression, Johan. I like it. So we're going to get a close on this 10,000 contracts. And about 2,000 contracts, and the 50 will close as well. A little bit of a pullback here on the 50 into this pocket. But my bias is short right now just based on where we are, so I'm not. We'll see. It may want to run for those highs, though, for sure. So it could take a stab at longing it up to the highs. What do you think, Johan? Should we do that? We'll see where this, if this closes here with all these DMLs under us, then we may have to try to look for a long up to these highs. And if we're long and wrong, then we're long and wrong. See where this closes. Got a couple hundred contracts left. It's kind of important where this closes relative to these DMLs. Have to keep an eye on it for right now. Let's see how it reacts with these. The 10,000 is trending down. It would need to go for congestion entrance up. So right now, I'll just wait. See how it reacts. Remember, this is a zone here between here and here. That's sort of the support zone. So now we'll see how it reacts to that support zone. Tim, nice, buddy. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, I thought you'd like that. So he says it's ready, but I gotta get the DLL and run it on my computer and all that kind of stuff. So I'll let you guys know. But when we're done streaming today, then I'm gonna be working on Sierra, getting that ready for you guys the rest of the day. Johan, I'm in and see to pass 10. What does that mean? Sorry, it's hard to understand sometimes. All right, so we're looking to try to go fill the gap now. Would I be short in the breakdown of these DMLs? Not yet. I'm just not a breakout trader. But there should be some resistance up here now at 19,960. We got the PMI coming out in 5 minutes. I think that S&P Global PMI does actually move the market pretty good sometimes. So I kind of consider that a news that I wouldn't really want to hold through. I'm kind of hoping between ISM today at 10. Sorry, I got to close my window. I had to, in Costa Rica, it's so warm outside. And then when you sleep, you got the AC on. And then sometimes when you wake up, there's condensation on the inside of the window. So you got to open it up and air it out. So if you hear those cars, that's why. Otherwise, we don't hear them. We've got really thick double paned glass. But I'm just trying to air out the condensation. So yeah, I'm kind of hoping with ISM at 10 o'clock, and then we got non-farm tomorrow. Hopefully it'll shake these markets and kick them, either resume the trend down or get the party started to the upside, kind of get out of this tough trading of April. April was still profitable, but not a normal profitable month. For me, I attribute that to I was just taking far fewer trades, because when I don't know what's going on, I'm okay to just wait. I don't have to trade every day. Some people have to trade every day. But I think those are maybe more the hobby enthusiasts. You got to get the action for the dopamine. I get my dopamine surfing. I don't really need it from the markets. All right, so let's see. This is going to close here. You can see selling coming in on the footprint. We're trending down nicely on the 10,000. Breaking these DMLs here. Are we headed down for a 2-bar push? Maybe, but let's see what the PMI does here in 3 minutes. I'm kind of looking to short against the highs. That's all right, guys. I'm gonna refill my tea while we wait for PMI. Okay, I'll be back in 1 minute. All right, guys. PMI has come out. Probably a little volatility here. It's good. So a little weaker than expected. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on right now that, I mean, fundamentally, I don't think the tariff war is close to over. It doesn't feel like the Ukraine war is close to over. Everything just keeps dragging on. So, but who knows, guys? Like, I just try to read the charts because the charts kind of tell the story. The narrative is switching back and forth every single day. You know, Trump will tweet and then somebody in China will deny it. And, you know, just got to look at the charts. Right now, we're into a lot of resistance up here into this. So basically, with the 50,000 contract chart here, if that's the trend resistance high, you know, we know we have all that monthly, weekly resistance right here. So I'm looking to get a short up in here somewhere. is what I want to do. And I'll wait for the 50,000, you know, maybe up in this pocket here, see if the 10,000 confirms it. It's kind of my game plan for today. We'll see if it succeeds or not. Oh, did they load up on a bunch of materials? Is that what they did? Because they knew the tariffs were coming. So like, even though there's going to be tariffs, they still have plenty of raw materials. Doesn't surprise me. I hadn't heard that, but that makes sense. Trump would send a tweet to all his buddies. Guys, the tariffs are coming. Load up. Yeah. I think that the politicians are more like comedians these days. They're more like celebrities than anything. They're not like, you know. I guess it started with Reagan, right? Reagan was a actor. And we had Schwarzenegger, governor of California, and then we get Trump, who's, you know, celebrity apprentice. Who's next? Probably Lady Gaga or something. It's a banana republic. Yeah, it is laughable. I used to emotionally invest myself into politics, but I realized that just does absolutely nothing. So now I just kind of see it as like high level comedy because it really is. When you look at some of the photo ops these guys have, like when they're talking to each other, I mean, it's ridiculous. Like how staged a lot of that stuff is. All right, so the 10,000 pushing up here. I'm kind of hoping we can get up and retest these highs so I can look for a short. Johan, are you looking for a short up here? I'm looking for a short up here. Hope we get there. ISM is in 10 minutes. I mean, you guys remember this yesterday? Because I was chatting with you guys in the Discord, and I said when we got first up here, this was kind of my first level up in here was 440, I think I said. And that ended up having a nice little reaction on price, but it just couldn't push it down. And then the next level, I knew we were kind of squeezing, but there was still, I thought, you know, we could hit some resistance at some point and then roll over and start congesting the rest of the day. I certainly did not expect, you know, the round trip to keep going. And so then I was looking to short, I think I posted, I was looking to short, remember guys, like right in here to like 520 or something, right? And then that tweet came out like, oh, the US is negotiating or wants to negotiate with China, and it was like 120 point, you know, 1 second bar. It filled my stop, it filled my short and my stop like at the same time. And I was out. But I made a good recovery. I was down at the peak of the day, I was down like 1,100 maybe 1,200 bucks on each account. So to finish back even, I was happy about that. Basically, the way I got back to even was I was just watching and waiting, and then when this pulled back here into this pocket, that's I had also a nice setup on the 10,000. So I went long and I added twice. I took my profit, you know, way too early. I took my profit here, but in all fairness, I mean, I had no idea that this was gonna rally, you know, 5 million points into the close. So I was happy to get a good setup to end the day, and that's kind of, you know, one thing. The As you get more time and experience with the markets, not only do you get a lot more relaxed about when you need to trade, but when you get down, you don't panic. You just keep following your system, and because you know you've been down so many times, and you know your system works, so you just know it's inevitable. It just comes back, right? It doesn't mean you don't have drawdowns and things like that. It's just you have a lot more confidence. Like, like if I get down on the day, it doesn't bother me. Like I don't like to finish the day down, but I know if I just keep following my system, the next good trade that I like will come at some point. And you know, just one good winner that you add to once or twice, you know, erases a lot of small losses. That's the way I like to do it. So Johan, I want to see price action after 10. Yeah, I agree. I'm kind of waiting for ISM as well. I mean, so far, if you look at the open here, I mean, it's pretty small range. I think everybody's waiting for ISM. I haven't seen anything I particularly like yet. What about you guys? Cam, Tim, Ralph, after your short, you guys all just waiting for ISM? Christian, and whoever else is here, if I'm missing your name, say hi, then I'll know you're here. Going to be doing some giveaways next week. I'm excited about that. Celebrating the launch of Sierra Charts. I'm going to send Johan in Denmark a check for $100 just because I want to give him $100. Just kidding, Johan. I'm not giving you $100, but I'm happy you're here. Morning, D. Darren's here. Christian's here. Yeah, you guys are waiting. Nice. Darren and I have a very similar sense of humor. He gets all my bad jokes. Waiting for it to push up, Cam? Yeah, I think so too. I mean, if we do a little bit of scenario analysis before ISM comes out, if we scroll back here in our TradingView charts, and you can see that gap there. So if we kind of go back and find a similar situation, this is kind of similar where, you know, gapped up here, but, you know, stronger, but then we kind of, that's where we stalled out and then bang. So I kind of feel like this is a trap, you know, to suck more of the boomers into giving away their 401ks. But, you know, we won't know until we see some confirmation on the daily. Kind of like this. You see that, guys? That's pretty interesting, right? That looks like a similar type of gap, right? And then just kaboom, right? So I wouldn't be too surprised to see something like that, to be honest. No leads then. So, I mean, you guys saw that, right? Rewind the video and look at that scenario analysis we just did, where you've got a very, very similar situation. So if you look at this situation we're in right now, right? I mean, that reversal yesterday. I mean, look at this outside bar. This to me smells like a trap. And then you follow it up with that gap. And if you look at what we just, you know, went back and looked at right here, it looks a lot like that. Bang. And look, see what I like about this when you get a gap, if the core dynamic market level there, the yellow dot, that's resistance. If that holds on close, and then you got that pink dot, that's the extension dynamic market level resistance. That's above price, that's resistance. The true average right there, that's above price, that's resistance. So if you gap up, test all that, and then close underneath, that's a really good short pattern, especially if it's into a lot of higher time period resistance, which I bet that was. Can't specifically remember that day, but this is looking pretty similar to that type of situation right there. So let's see, because, you know, here, depending on what happens after ISM, guys, keep an eye on our dynamic market levels, because these are all going to shift because they're still being built based on what happens. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens, you know, by the end of the day. I mean, we do have this extension here That could be a good spot to potentially look to get short if we push through the highs. That extension's at 20,100. Just keep an eye on that. Right now we are above the core DML there, so we have to be aware of that. But we are running into all that monthly resistance and that weekly DML, so kind of a tug of war here. All right, we got ISM in about 2 minutes. It's going to be exciting. I think it's going to be kind of range bound today up here. Like I don't think we're going to, even if we fill the gap, I feel like it'll stabilize and push back up. So I'm kind of looking to play the outer edge of the range. It's my my play for the day. All right, so ISM guys, sync your clocks here. Up here you can see we got 9:58 and 18 seconds. So you look at my clock, then you know how synced we are or not. Double button building? What's that, Johan? I'm not familiar with double button building, but I'd like to know. Oh, I had nachos and ribs last night. You know, I don't normally eat that kind of food, but since my best buddy's been here visiting, it's been restaurants every single day. And oh, like obviously it tastes good, but you know, I don't think like most restaurants use the best type of cooking oil and stuff like that. So you just feel like I like my homemade food. Simple homemade food is what I like. Fall through. Okay, yeah. That definitely could. I mean, down here, you can see where if I don't know if we're gonna fill the whole gap, we might, but we definitely have some support here where we opened. That's also right here at these extensions. That could be an area of interest. All right, guys, there's ISM in somebody got the jump on it. Trump already sent his buddies. He's like, guys, go short. All right, 15 seconds. Who's pumped? Gotta bounce around. Going on 6 hours of sleep and no coffee, but I got black tea at least. All right. 3 seconds. Boom. Wow, that was crazy. Everything froze for a second. Sierra froze. Trade8 froze. TradingView froze. Wow. All right, Christian. And Dave, are you here? Let me know if you got any questions, Dave. How far along through the course you are. All right, we're going to get a close here on the 50,000 chart in about 8,000 contracts. So see if we get anything. That's what I like to do generally is just wait for the pattern I like on the 50,000 and then trade it if the 10,000 confirms. The only other time I won't do, if we're in a firing trend run, then I'll just, you know, focus on the 10,000 and look for those pullbacks. Well, I wonder what the ISM came in at. Let's check. I'll refresh. ISM. Actual. We don't have it on this calendar yet on the trading economics, but maybe Christian, you're our news guy. Let us know what ISM came in at. Oh yeah, I'm being careful, Johan. I'm careful every day. Thank you, Christian. Let's see, the PMI actual 48.7, forecast 47.9. So a little better than forecast. Not sure how the market will react to that, but interesting. Lowest since May 2020. I don't know what I just read, but Christian, what are you reading? Oh, it was forecasted, so okay, but still low. Not exactly a good number, right? Thanks for the like, guys. I appreciate it. So we're gonna get a close here on the 50,000 volume bar chart in about 3,500 contracts, and we'll see if it gives us anything to work with. Yeah, not as bad as we thought, but still not great. That's funny, Christian. When you said not as bad as we thought, but still not great, so many funny things came to my mind about how many things could fit that description in life. Not as bad as we thought, but not that great. Like some of these restaurants here are like that. It's like it's not as bad as I thought, but not that great. I'm gonna have to start using that expression. Yeah, lower than 50 is contraction, right? Which would be expected with the tariffs. Yeah, I think that's a good expression, guys. All right, we're gonna get a close here in 2,000 contracts. Let's see. But see, you don't know is like, are we in the regime now where bad news is going to be good news, right? Because if the Federal Reserve starts to see all these contraction numbers, does that mean they're going to cut? And then the market is going to start juicing ahead of time, anticipating those cuts because of these bad numbers? Or is bad news actually bad news, right? We don't really know what regime we're in yet. So you've got some support here at the congestion. The congestion support level technically is down here, but you're sucking back up above these core DMLs and the true average and the congestion DML. 10,000 going for congestion entrance up. So it looks to me like we probably want to push back through these highs. I'm going to wait, see if we test into 19,917. I mean, you did get a congestion entrance up bar there. You've got a lot of support down here. So I want to see how price, it's not like good enough. We're still like in the middle of this range, but I think we're probably going to push up here. Let's see if we can test down into 912, maybe even 915. If we get to 915, see how price reacts to that level. Here we come. So now let's see how price responds to this spot. Thank you, Christian. Contracting, 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 slowing out. The question is, how does the market interpret that? Right now, it's looking like bad news is bad news. Still some support here too. So now that we're testing this area, but you still got at that low. Keep an eye on that. See what everything else is doing. Yeah, you can see the extension is adjusting, guys, right? You see how it's coming down? So could be setting up for a good short tonight. Could be a good Asia play for tonight, depending where we close. If we were to close like this with the true average and the extension DMLs right above us, I'd be looking for something like that. Back down tonight. Of course, I will let you know based on where we close. Right now, kind of waiting for this to do something. Not really sure what it wants to do. Let me know if you guys got any questions. I'm here. Got some water. And if you're late to the party today, Sierra charts should be ready by the end of today, I hope, for you guys. So as soon as I get off this stream, I'm going to get working on all that, test it with my developer, but he seems to think it's done. So that's the good news. Just one more thing I can check off the list. And my third daughter is due in about 19 days. So that'll be exciting. And we will go to our very, very nice, fortunate Airbnb in San Jose, the capital, in a suburb called Escazú. And we'll stay there for about 3 weeks. Have the baby there, close to all the good hospitals. Because here where I live by the beach, closest hospitals are like an hour away. So if you do a home birth and something goes wrong, you're kind of in trouble. So we had to get an Airbnb right next to a hospital. So that'd be cool. My parents are coming down. You guys will get to meet my parents. They're lovely people. Making the journey down south. Been preparing for the baby, getting all the baby stuff ready to go. Thanks, Dave. Yeah, 3 daughters. Thank you very much. Yeah, you got 2. Okay, cool. How old are yours? My current ones are 12, but she lives with my ex-wife in Los Angeles. But my ex-wife is also Swedish. So they live in LA. She's 12. And then my current wife, who's Swedish also, we have a 5-year-old daughter, and now we're having the next daughter. Well, the ultrasound said a daughter, right? You can always get surprised. I mean, I think it'd be pretty cool to have a son, but it looks like I'm probably just gonna have 3 daughters, and that's great too. So now we're looking for a nanny here at our place, because I work a lot with trading. I'm just kind of always busy, and then when I have a little free time, I want to go surf. I can't, like, it makes more sense that my wife has help. 20, sophomore at App State in Boone, North Carolina. Okay, cool. I'm 18, getting ready to graduate, off to University of Georgia. Nice. Oh, so you're at the tail end of it, which is nice. I'm kind of looking forward to being there. My 5-year-old is very intense. My 12-year-old's super chill. I'm kind of hoping the third one on the way is going to be, my 5-year-old's great. She's too smart, so she's just like very intense. All right, are we going to rally back to the highs now? We're in congestion on the 10,000 here. I mean, I could see this pushing up. Can see some pretty good footprint buying coming in here, guys. Yeah, I mean, you can use them for different things. I like volume just because it keeps you, like, you see how smooth the volume is, right? When you remove, I mean, time is good. Time is good. Like hourly charts, for example, are great if you want to run a more mechanical system and you want to scroll through all the, let's say I give you the parameters, look for this, and you want to be mechanical and you scroll through all the hourly charts every hour, then it's nice to have charts that sync up every hour, right? Because with volume charts, it's harder to follow more markets because, if my gold intraday runs on 20,000 contracts, my Nasdaq runs on 50,000 contracts, my ES runs on like 80,000 contracts. So they're all closing at different times. You can still do it, but so that's where time is beneficial. FAFO time, Johan. Yep. We're about to find out. I kind of think we're going back toward the highs. It's like if I was to throw something on here, it would just be to entertain you guys. I'm kind of waiting. My area of interest is at the highs. I want to see if we get a good short pocket up there or something. That's where I would test. I'm not opposed to going long. I just would want to go long a little lower down here. I kind of feel like the range of the day, is going to be something like this. And I may be wrong, but that's just what I feel. So it's hard for me to want to get in here in the middle of the range, just the way I trade. For you guys who go for 5 points, 10 points, 15 points, that's fine. But I like to try to get, 50, 60. Because if I'm right, I like to have a little room to run so I can add sometimes. Because guys, once you learn how to add, it's life-changing. Because you'll see that, you can have several, small losers if you manage your risk properly. And then just, one good trade where you add a little bit that goes your direction. I mean, it wipes out a lot of losses. And it builds a lot of confidence because you realize like, oh, wow, if I just wait for a really good setup, one that gives me the chance to add. I mean, it's pretty important. I think that the human psychology wants to hold on to the losers because it it hopes, it's more comfortable for the brain. It hopes that that loss will turn around and become a win. And then it wants to cut the winner quickly and take the money because it wants that safety and security. So you have to rewire that and flop it on its head, cut the losses quickly, very quickly. And when you're in a trade, try to let it go a little bit, right? We can all hold winners longer, but try to get better at letting them go a little bit. Of course, when you see, you see if you're long and you see resistance and some selling coming in and you have a reason to take off the trade, fine. But don't just take off the trade to snatch the money. So you can see that's a pretty big footprint to the upside, the biggest one we've had. Oh yeah, they need to engage both sides for sure. Yeah, I think we're going back to the highs. This wasn't bad here. If we were to revisit these lows again, I'd probably buy because now the 10,000 is in congestion, right? And there were a lot of buyers that stepped in here. So if it comes back down here and gives us a good reason to get long, I probably would. Yeah, how to rewire, Ralph says. Consistency in trade management is another piece of the plan. Not only where I get in and how, but how I exit and when. Start to have a good read on getting in. Yeah, one step at a time, exactly. And trade management is probably the hardest part of trading. I mean, you can make it mechanical if you want, and I'll help you do that if that's, for those that need that rigid mechanical approach. And I understand, I don't think it's a bad idea as long as you can follow it. Yeah, you're getting there, Christian. I think you're starting to understand things a little more. Yeah, I think they're going to squeeze them here. When you're right here, when you see that minus 438 aggressive selling, and then immediately responds with 840 on the positive delta. That's why I'm kind of hoping we can get back down here. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right, Ralph. Excuse me, you guys. I can't wait till we set our clocks back and I get that extra hour of sleep. We used to be an hour behind New York, and now we're 2 hours. I'm not against a long down here. But really shorting against the high up here, I think could be a good short. What do you guys think? That's what I'm kind of eyeing. Kind of looks like we're going for congestion exit here on the 10,000. And there'll be some people that love that trade, you know, they'll get in, they'll stop it here or whatever. I'm just more of a, I like to try to pick my levels against the higher time period. I kind of expected a little more volatility today with ISM. Yeah, so maybe the market will be range bound up here. Kind of feels like it. I don't see this thing, you know, goosing up here. They are stretching it. They're putting me to sleep. I need them to do something. Come on, guys. Come on, market makers. We've still got a couple more of the 10,000 bars to close. So if we were to get a good buy entry down here, I'd consider it to push up here. But the squeeze may already be on. A lot of resistance up into 20,000 like we looked at on the monthly chart, the weekly chart. So here on the 50,000, you can see with this pocket forming extension, congestion, envelope top. Here you've got some extensions, live cores. So I want to see how price reacts to that. I think we probably want to get up close to these highs. So if we come down here to the middle of the envelope, I might look for a long at 940. I don't know if we'll get there. We're squeezing, but I would potentially look for a long here, you know, with a mental stop right back here, and then look to target the highs. I'm really trying to work on trading while I talk. It's not as easy as you think. I'm getting a little better, but take some time. So I'm kind of eyeing this area here. I want to see how price reacts to that. I'll wait for the 50 to close. We've still got 17,000 contracts left until this closes. So 7,000 more here and then one more bar of 10,000. Thank you, Yuan. I like being quiet. We'll do a silent Zen retreat stream one day. So I'm looking, I like the fact that that extension and that extension are right through those highs. That's my area of interest. And you can see the cores are now stacking here and here. Any news at 10:30? Let's check. Natural gas stock change. So this is that 20,000 level where we've got, you know, in this area, all that higher time period resistance. Here. On the monthly and the weekly. gonna write to my developer. I think he needs to send me the new DLL for Sierra charts. Yeah, Trump and all his buddies probably now. I mean, I'm going off the charts. That depending where we close, I think there's going to be good shorting. Some good opportunities from the short side tomorrow. Yeah, this is usually, Thursday pre-NFP is pretty choppy too, right? Because the market's waiting on those numbers. So probably just going to range around up here the rest of the day is what I'm guessing. So look to short the top of the range. I don't know if we'll get all the way back down here, so we'll just have to see, but could see something like if you've got the resistance up in here, and then this might go a little lower, but ranging somewhere in here. It's my best bet at the moment. Yeah, I mean, it can be a good day for a range bound strategy, Ralph. If you want to get out the congestion playbook, that's what I'm going to try and do here. This will be my trade on the stream for you guys. If this holds up here and the 10,000 gives me any indication, I'll just take a short and risk it up behind the highs and see what happens. Just give me 1 second, guys. All right, so we're pushing up here. See how we react. I like what I see so far with this core right here. That's nice. I like the zone from here to here as resistance. See if they can suck in. If we get through these highs a little and then settle back in, that could be a nice opportunity to go short. Kind of what I was waiting for. You see, if you rewind the video, guys, you'll see this reaction high was like this, and I wanted it to shift like this to start flashing. So we didn't get through the highs yet. I'd love to see it try to poke through the high and then settle back down. Highs at 35 3/4. There it is. So now let's see what happens. I'm waiting for now. Okay, I'm gonna just try a short. My mental stop is just above this core right there, but I also would want to see the selling come in pretty quickly. I'm gonna take a small loss. I think I'm a little early. You see, this is a tricky spot because this broke, but that is holding. I think there's a lot of resistance up here, but the 10,002 is breaking above these cores, but I think it's going to roll over, but it still is pretty strong. All right, I'm short again from about 25, and my stop is above the highs now. So if we go up there, I'm just going to eat my loss. Probably shouldn't have pulled the first one, but it is what it is. So guys, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stop it above the highs because I got a lot of stuff to do for Sierra charts and try to get that going for you today. So if we take out those highs, I'll be out. I'm going to let this ride and see if I can't catch a winner back down here. So I'll leave it to you to do what you want. Hopefully it'll be a range bound day and we get lucky and catch a little bit of a runner to the downside. And then I'll see you guys in Discord. I just want to get the Sierra charts and get that done so I can get the videos done for you guys. That'll be off my mind. I got to get to my developer before he goes to bed. So I will leave it there, you guys, and I'll see you in the Discord. And I'll let you know how my test goes with Sierra. I'm really excited to test it. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day, and good luck managing the trade.